Hi guys, my name is Harsha Chakraborty and today I will share my interview experience of Mercedes Benz R&D, Mercedes Benz Research and Development. So this is a product-based company based out of Bangalore mainly. Uh, uh, the interview experience is mainly in Java. Okay, so the position was for consultant or senior consultant. So mainly it is like the software engineer position. Okay, now I updated my profile in Naukri and updated my CV. I got the call twice, okay, two times from Mercedes Benz recruiter. One was from vendor and one was from Mercedes Benz recruiter. Okay, so I gave this interview twice. I will give you my the all the questions they asked and also give you the reason why they rejected. I was rejected twice. Okay, because this interview was in the in the beginning period when I was preparing for my interviews. At that point of time I was getting rejected by mostly by every companies. Okay, so I will share my experience. So the first interview which was there, it went well. So the interview was having two rounds. One is technical, one is managerial, and an HR. I was rejected in the technical only. Okay, in the first technical round, the interviewer was very good. He asked me basic Java questions. So like what is polymorphism, abstraction, and all. And then he asked me about exception handling, why it is different from error, this kind of thing. And also then he asked a bit from string, why it is immutable, what is the advantage of strings in Java. And also he asked me about comparator and comparable, that we usually use. I said clearly, because at that point of time I knew what is comparator and comparable, but the syntax I forgot. So I told him I don't know. And then he asked me about my roles and responsibility in my current project. I said I'm working in microservices. He asked me how the project goes. Okay, how the project runs in your in your for your in your project, how things are working. So I explained him my project architecture, and then he asked me what cloud you are using and all. Okay, I explained him all, and he asked me straightforward that why microservice every company is adapting. Okay, why monolith? What is the difference between monolith and microservice? He basically asked. I told him few points, but he was not very he was not very satisfied with my answers. Okay, so he pointed out few things, and then he gave me one DSA question. So that was a pretty simple question from file. Okay, Java file. So there is a Java file API. He asked me that if I give you one file, you have to read that file, and you have to figure out some patterns from that file. So that file can contain some string, can contain some numbers. So you have to figure out. I will give you a particular what is that? I will give you a particular pattern. You have to figure out how many times the pattern has occurred. So I said that file, if you give me a simple string and tell me to find out the pattern from that string, it will be easy for me. But file, Java file, I am not much aware of the syntax. So he said, okay, so since you don't know about Java file, it's okay, no problem. So, but I told him the approach for Java string. Okay, but he wanted file only. So I said, okay, no problem. He asked me few questions from REST API also. And that was the interview basically. Okay, the interview was good from my side. I thought that I gave almost all answers, but um, he asked me in the end of the interview. The interviewer asked me about my experience. At that moment, I was only having like 1 year of experience. He said we are looking for a senior guy, and you have to learn a bit more. You have to work hard, and but you are good, but we are looking for some experienced candidate. I thought ki they will hire me for associate consultant or consultant, but they which is like a software engineer position, but they didn't call me back. I reached out to them, they said you were rejected. Okay, okay, so like after that, after like maybe like 1.5 months, I again got a call from Naukri, this time from Mercedes, this time from a vendor, I think. He reached me out. He said, we have a opening for Mercedes Benz for the software engineer or consultant position. Okay, so I forgot the position name exactly. So at that moment, I told her कि I have already attended one interview. He she said कि no, okay, no problem, कुछ नहीं होगा, तुम बस बैठ जाओ. Okay. Okay, I thought, okay, because he said this is for a different project. They liked your profile, and they want to like interview you. Okay. And at that moment also, since I was having 1.1 year of experience, at that moment also I was prepared, but I was not that much prepared. Okay, so I sit for the interview. This time the interviewer was a bit rude. Okay, so he was like not trying to listen my points. He was like being strict to his point. Okay, the interviewer he asked me about, he told me to introduce myself. I introduced, and then he asked me, okay, the questions are, I'm coming straight forward to the question. The questions were, what is the difference between interface and abstract class? I told him. Then he got deeper into it. Okay, he told, in interface in Java we can have static methods inside Java classes, right? So why we need abstract class? I told him my point of view, which was like a bit correct, but he had his own like view. Maybe I was wrong. Like I was not wrong. Maybe I was not to the point. So he was not very impressed with my answer. But I told him कि my answer is also correct. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if he got a bit offended by that. Maybe that was my fault. Then he asked me about functions and predicate. Okay, and also a few questions from lambda expression. He told me to write down one logic to find out the what is that? Find out the odd or even numbers from a given list by lambda. Okay, so that is a pretty easy question. I solved that. Then he asked me to write a code for palindrome. Okay, and palindrome also in the in that thing in factorial. Sorry, in what is that? In recursion, with the help of recursion. Okay. So I, at that point of time, I wasn't able. I just gave him the simple approach. Okay, the like ON approach, but he said you have to implement recursion. I was trying to do that, but at point, as I told that I was not much experienced, or I didn't have much idea on coding and all. Okay, so I was not able to solve that. Okay, and then he asked me about caching. Okay, how you can design your cache in your how you are designing your cache in your project, because we were in our project we were implementing Redis. I told him I don't have much idea because I am only having like 6 to 7 months of experience in this project, in this Java project, because at that time I was having only 6 to 7 months. And then he asked me about, okay, then he asked me about some design patterns about like singleton and factory. Singleton he asked, I told him. He also wanted me to write down one singleton class. I designed that. Then he asked me about factory design pattern he asked, but I told him the factory design pattern, but the implementation I wasn't able to finish. Okay, so there, that was a off for that interview. And then he asked me about Spring. Okay, so like what is what is dependency injection in Spring, and how you can inject by getter setter, all these questions he asked. I told him, but the syntax I wasn't like pretty sure. Okay, so and then he asked me about like to use that application context class. There is application context class, I guess. So he told me to write down one config.xml and just declare some bean and use that. Okay, so I implemented few of that, but that code was not running. Okay, so he got disappointed by that, and I also agree, because at that point of time, like I wasn't very much confident on these things. Okay, So that was the interview. I knew that I will not get along with this interview. So the interviewer said that you need more practice on these things. So that's it actually. Okay. So this was my interview experience, and it didn't go very well. Okay, but still I want to put this because there are a lot of guys maybe like want to know what were the questions, how the interview goes. Okay, so let me know if it helps you, and if you want to know about the salary and all, then you can comment down below, or you can directly ping me in LinkedIn. Okay, so if you like this video, let me know in the comment. I will post more videos of interview experiences in companies like Publicis Sapiens, FICO, and also Amazon, Flipkart, and all. Okay, so you let me know in the comment.